with the change of coming from going in, you missed the things that was out. What about the transition coming out? Did you already, 22 years is a long time to be in there. I'm sure your lifestyle had pretty much changed. To be honest with you, at the time you went in, you was 19. I think.
That's what he told me.
So you spent more years in prison than you did out of prison at that time.
Yeah. So the transition was
Probably hard for you to adjust to when you came out, because the world that you once knew is not even the same anymore 22 years later. It's certain things it was different. And the only reason I'm saying that is because in the movie Life, you know, Eddie Murphy and Martin Lawrence went to jail, and then at one point in there, you know, they've been there for so long, they
get out.
and they become chauffeurs. And as they're being the chauffeur, Martin Lawrence drives a man into the city, and he's looking around at people with boom boxes walking by. And he's looking at them like, wait, all of this has changed, because he's been in like a little concentration camp type thing for a long time. But for you, I'm pretty sure, like when you went in, the level of cell phones may have changed. You know, it might have been the big ones, but now you have like these big cell phones and smaller cell phones.
There were, you know what, James, there were guys in there that told me about this stuff, and at that particular time, mind you that when I initially went in, I didn't have a television. I didn't want to preoccupy my time by just watching television. I didn't want to spend my time just watching television. So what I did was I brought a radio because I like music more than I like television. And I began to listen to the news. And there's one particular station that I loved when I was there that I don't even go out my way to even listen to no more. And it was called NPR, National Public Radio. And I used to listen to All Things Considered. It was programs on there. They used to have people come on there, artists come on there and play music and tell stories. You ask anybody about NPR. It's a station that exists right now to this day, but I don't listen to it. But I enjoyed it when I was there, because I enjoyed listening to radio. I didn't buy television until like maybe 11 or 12 years of my time being in. Then I bought a TV because I inadvertently broke my radio. And they wasn't selling those radios anymore, so when I broke it, it was over with, so I bought the television. And I started watching TV. But I was hearing about how things was changed. But one thing that I do regret that I didn't do when I was there, and I regret it to this day, is to learn that computer. I didn't learn it. And I had all the time, and we had all the time, all the ample time to learn that. And I just discounted it, man. Oh, I'm not gonna need that. I'm okay. I got the GED, I got the diploma, I'm okay. But I wish I could have learned that magnificent item right there, man. That computer, man. I'm a damn good reader, man. But I just don't, and I know how to type. I just don't know, words. Microsoft, Excel, and all that. I don't know that stuff, and it's amazing, man. And I have a laptop, and I do little stuff on it, but I know it can go so much further, man. But it's okay though. It's alright. I wish I would have learned that.
So you did your years. Now you're coming out, and your first day of being out, was there a big fear inside of you coming back into
Hell no. Hell no. No.
What was it like?
It was this, in a way it was like I never left, man. I ain't lying. Some things was different because I was always eager to get back out into the world, man. Because I know I messed up, man. I know I messed up. Let me tell you something, man. I wasn't one of the guys that I met when I was there, and I'd had conversation with guys that then did 4 years. He got out. He came back 2-3 months later. Now he got to do 6 more years. He do that 6, he got out. Stayed out a year. He went back. Now he got to do 4 years and got. They gave me my time all in one lump sum. It wasn't no getting out, coming back, getting out. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't a part of that recidivism rate. I did that one crime, got my ass out, and ain't been back. It ain't going back.
So is it like you was in there, you're like, I'm gonna go get me some Harold's chicken the first day I get out? I'm just finna just
You know what? I don't even know what. I can't even recall what I did when I first got out. All I know is that they sent me to a house, Henry Sober Living House. They sent me to AA house, and I had to sit there and participate in the meetings.
So is this not similar to graduating from foster care, going to that house to teach you how to be whoever? Now you're out.
Man, you know what? I can see where you're going with it. Said there is some similarity, just slight similarity,
yeah.
but
Because they have to teach you how to be back to be an adult in the new environment that you've been out of now, to teach you how to reacclimate back to.
yeah, but you know something though, Jay. I think that has a lot to do with the individual, man. I think that has a lot to do with you, man. If you want to do better, you can, man. You have to want it. You have to want to do better, man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You have to want it as a person. And I wanted to do better when I got this second chance.
Okay. So here we are. Gates open, you walk out. Do you immediately find Anna, or what happened?
Oh man.
So how many years go by or months go by before you bump into Anna? That's your first phone call. Letters the whole time you're in there?
Well, I'm gonna tell you this, man. Don't forget, we knew each other when we were young. She always had a flame for me, man. Always. And when I got out, she met up with me, man. She left Wisconsin and came up here, man. She came up here and visited me in the Henry Sober Living House, man.
Okay.
And she was like, hey, what's up? And we talked. We didn't date and, to get to know each other. She just wanted to have sex. Because she probably think, oh, he been locked up that long. No, he wants some of this or whatever. You know how we,
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that's how the woman was thinking. And then I'm thinking like, damn, you know what? I always wanted her too. I never got it when I was out. So that's what happened. Went to a hotel, stayed up in that hotel about 6-7 hours, and that's when I created my baby, man. And I created my baby right there on Stone Island, man. In the hotel, man. She came up here and got
While
a
you're still
hotel.
living in that.
Well, I was still living in the place, but I was only given so many hours out, and I had to be back. You couldn't stay out, or they report you not coming in. You know what I'm saying? And that'd be like a violation of your parole. So I had to return back. So that's when I created my baby, man.
So the relationship, did y'all have a relationship after that once you were cleared of that? And then
Yeah, it was okay. It was kind of working out.
y'all lived together and
But when I got up there with her, oh, you went back with her? No, not right away.
okay.
When I was able to get off parole, I went back up that way. I only stayed about 30 days, Jay. It didn't work, man. Didn't work. I don't know if somewhere in my subconscious mind, maybe I didn't want it to work. I just didn't like her.
that you did.
She was kind of controlling, and I ain't like that. I already had some people controlling me for 20-some years, telling me what to do. Now I get out. I remember one time I was wearing a jacket, and she told me, man, she tells me, I don't like that jacket. I said, I don't get it. It's my damn jacket. She was controlling, man. She was controlling, man.
But you did say that you had an issue with love because you don't know how to
Yeah.
love or accept love. Could that have been part of it also?
I did, yeah. I would admit that. I admit that. I would admit that. I think I said a lot of things to her over the phone that she was expecting and that I didn't commit to. Yeah, so I'm not just gonna solely just say it was her fault. I just think we should have just took our time.
So you and Anna create this baby. Couple months or years later, you get off parole, and now you go up there to try to make the family work and realize after 30 days that this ain't it for you. So this baby, is it a boy, is it a girl, or
Turned out to be a girl.
okay? And what was your reflection of the love? Because you're still struggling with love at this moment.
Oh man.
Did you love her unconditionally? Is that still the way things are, or did you kind of go back and forth?
No, cause I had some doubt, man. I had some doubt.
Doubt of what?
Doubt if it was my baby, but I knew it was my baby. I think I just had the doubt because of the way the baby went. When I saw the baby and looked at the baby looked like he could have been Mexican. I'm like, damn, but I'm there like, no, that ain't my baby. But I mean, in a way, Jay, and, I was like, but I knew it was mine. I knew it was mine, Jay. I knew it was mine. I just
Struggle scenario with love and trying to create an out or connect.
yeah. I wouldn't solely put it on Jay. I couldn't do that, man. I couldn't do it. It's me too, man. It was me too, man.
So you have this new life, a new opportunity, a second chance. You have a baby. You have hopes and dreams now, but there's still a struggle. So you don't marry and commit to Anna. Eventually you move past that, and what happens in your life? You get a job, you find another.
I meet I get a job, and I met a young lady on my job that I should have dated. Still should have dated first to get to know the person. But, in a rush, man, in a rush. And then she was kind of in a rush because she wasn't in a relationship with nobody. She just got out of a bad relationship, but, she wanted to get married. I didn't want marriage, but I think I just did that just to appease her, man. So I said, okay, so we do it. And, some time went by and we ended up, well, she ended up pregnant, but that pregnancy didn't turn out right. Then she got pregnant again. That pregnancy didn't turn out right. And then she got pregnant again. And I thought that wasn't going to happen. And it happened, man.
So what do you have now?
I have another girl.
Another girl.
I have another girl, man.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this is the happy ending too of what you've been chasing. Are you still married?
Yes, I'm still married, man.
Are you in the life of this new daughter?
Oh, yes, I'm there. I'm there.
And what about the old daughter?
The older?
Your first daughter?
Nope. I'm not there, man. The last time I talked to her was last year in June. Last year in June. I haven't talked to her since. I don't think I'm not gonna have no relationship with her. To be honest with you, I don't really think I am. Maybe when she gets a little bit older, maybe she'll decide she want to talk to me. If she decides she wants to talk to me, because I'm pretty sure probably the way that I've treated her now, I don't know. Maybe she may choose not to. I don't know, but I know her mom is in her ear. I know her mom is in her ear though, man.
So you and her mom don't get along? There's resentment between the two?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I can't solely, just put it all 100 on her and say, no, it's totally her, I tried to make it work. It didn't. It didn't work, man. It didn't. So, right now, she's just by herself, man. I don't call. I don't go on my way to make no call. She blocked. That's what it is, man.
Well, that gives you something to work on in the future. We always have something that we're working on ourselves on in life, which, in turn, the complete story, the series that we've gone over with you, has been mind-blowing to me. I've seen you face struggles, you face oppositions, you face addictions. You faced, you know, some of the worst hurts and pains and loneliness that a person can face. And you did a crime, multiple crimes, and you did your time. And you come out. And in the midst of all of that, you still was working on bettering yourself. You know, looking at things. So when you got out, you held no anger or resentment against your sister. None against either one of your sisters for the things that happened. And you still, you know, you held no anger or resentment against your nephew who told on you. You went to jail with your other nephew, correct? Is he still alive? Do you guys talk at all? Or is it because the one that did the shooting took the gun?
Oh, that's the cousin.
The cousin, yes.
No, we don't talk because he turned out just to be a liar. He lied in my face and told me other stuff, and come to find out it was just a bunch of baloney, man.
And this is after you got out?
Yeah, after I got out, just a bunch of lies, man. Just a bunch of lies, man. You know, he even said some stuff about me that I forced him to do. I didn't force you to do nothing, man. I just, on that day when I told you, I was coming down that hallway inside my sister's apartment, man, when I did what I did. And he was coming the opposite way, and I handed him that weapon, man. I had no idea he was going back there to do that, man. I had no idea, man. And the father know I'm telling the truth on that, man. He know I'm telling the truth on that. And then you sat there and you told my cousin, which is your uncle, and told my auntie, which is your grandmama, and your mama, which is my cousin, that I had forced you to do that. That don't even make no sense. It wasn't the truth, man. It wasn't the truth, man. He was just his own stupidity caused him to be right there with my ass.
And could it have been that he idolized you?
That's what it was. That's what it was. Like he wanted to be. That's what it.
To him.
That's what it.
You that he.
Yeah. That's what it was. That's what it was, man. He was always one that wanted to be around me. Always wanted to be around me. Impress me. You know, but you did the wrong thing there, man. I couldn't help him.
Yeah.
I couldn't help him, man.
Yeah, life with all the things that you've gone up against, and even reflecting back over your life, talking to the younger versions of yourself and the advice that you would give, I think that was admirable because a lot of people don't. You know, like us here now, we've made it through. But there's a lot of people, younger guys, who are in the process of being that 15-year-old version of Zoe and that 19-year-old version of Zoe, or that Zoe that the guy's going to give him a primo. And to him, he's going to take it, not knowing the consequences. If he could see on the other side of those years and see what he would turn out to be, I think he would look at things differently like you. But the fact that you're actually able to bring that to the table today and show that, you know, I have grown, I have matured, I have changed, and we're going to always have things that we're working on, such as your relationship with your daughter, your oldest daughter, right? I know that you say you're going to put that on the back burner, but you may, you know, go back and forth over the years.
Yes, who knows, yeah.
She may become your best friend. You never know. And as you grow with your current daughter and you develop love and understand the boundaries and
all of this stuff, and as
you're married and your love with your wife kind of changes. And most people don't even understand that the love for a wife and the love for your kid is totally different. It's comparable to some sense, but almost not, because that love for your daughter is something totally different. You know, that's the love that you created instead of like voluntarily walked in. You know, and even then with your wife now, you said, you know, we should have probably dated, but we were both in a rush. But I understand time was against you because you went to prison and you got out. But at the same time, you voluntarily walked into this and you're developing love, and it's still cultivating in your mind and your relationship with your wife, and it's going to continue to progress as you grow older. And I think that's an amazing thing, because some people will look at this and they're like, hey, in the beginning, it still doesn't matter. He took a life. But in the process of taking a life and the decisions that you made, you also have created life. And by even doing this podcast, you're actually contributing to life and giving back to life, even though you've actually taken, some steps and done the things that you've done. But I definitely, from my point of view, I love the fact that you're a man enough to stand up and say, hey, I did this. Hey, I regret this. And hey, if I can stop somebody else from doing this, I want to stop them from doing this, from going down the same path that I went. I got a second chance. A lot of people don't.
No.
A lot of people step over the second and go to third, fourth, and fifth chances, like you said, in prison. They're continually coming back. The habitual.
Man. Like that revolving door, man. No, man. I couldn't see myself doing that, man. That's crazy. You know what? Let me add this point too, man. I remember, man, I used to smoke Newport cigarettes, man. I started smoking my first cigarette at the age of 15, man. Ended up going away at the age of 19, so I only had 4 years of smoking cigarettes. Get out, didn't even crave that cigarette. Didn't even crave the cigarette. Unlike my cousin, did, 16? And got out and smoked a cigarette. How did you go do all that time and get out? And the first thing you decided you wanted to do, somewhere in your mind, you said, man, I'm gonna get that damn square. How did I go do the same thing? But I ain't smoking no damn Newport.
So since you got out, have you had the urge to try to want to smoke crack again?
Oh, no. No, boy. Ooh, no. Don't do it. Like Beretta. You I don't know if y'all know about Beretta. That old show.
No.
Don't do it. That's that. It's a theme song. An old school show with Beretta. What did he say? He just say, don't do the time if you. He said, no, don't do the crime if you can't do the time. Yeah, don't do it. Oh man, listen, man. Keep your eye on the sparrow. Don't do it, man.
So you want to,
man?
So what about the cigarettes and stuff like that? You don't really.
No urge, man.
no urge? Okay.
There was no urge.
And some of the viewers may want to know this too, or listeners. Since you've been out, have you been in a situation where somebody's gotten on your nerve or got to you to the point you like thought about you want to kill them or hurt them?
Well, you know what? I'm gonna be honest with you. The only person I ever thought, the only person I wanted to do harm to and thought about doing harm to, and like I said, man, I believe many men that have issues with their baby mothers and child support thought about doing something to the baby mama, man.
Yeah.
And that thought came in my head, but you know what?
The thought of the time and everything else too.
Not so much as that, but Yahweh removed it, man. He removed it.
Pointing to the sky.
To the Father, man, don't do it. Don't do that, man. That dog, you think about that no more. That dog gone. Don't do it, man. Don't do it.
So what do you think about? What's your dreams for the foreseeable future?
My dreams for the foreseeable future is to retire in 14 years. And be a good husband to my wife and be a loving father to my beautiful and amazing daughter. And to teach my daughter the best that I can as a father. I know she gonna make some mistakes, but just teach her what's right. Just try to teach her what's right. That's it. That's it, man. And retire and relax, man. That's it. Retire, relax, be good to my wife. It's not gonna always be, bed of roses, but
Enjoy life's simple pleasures.
simple pleasures. That's it. And
I think we can all relate to that for sure.
love my daughter, man. One I'm with now, man.
So one thing that I learned, I was listening to this book. I like to listen to audible books, and the name of the book, I can't remember who it's by, but it says everything that I've learned in life, I learned in kindergarten. And the guy's going on with different stories, short stories, but this one particular story he comes to, he's talking about a dandelion. He's talking about how his neighbor came over spraying, weed killer on his dandelions. And he's like, hey, these are flowers. He's like, no, this is weed. He's like, no, these are flowers. He said, what makes you think that they're flowers? He said, because they grow under the conditions of not having water that makes them weed. The guy said, no, these are literally flowers. He said, dandelions, he said, they're beautiful. They're yellow. He said, they spread. They don't need much love. He said, but not only that, before it becomes the yellow dandelion, he said, little kids would grab it and blow, make wishes off of them. He said, you see a female pick it up and put it in her hair to make it accessorize her hair, make it look beautiful. He's like, not only that, he's like, people make tea out of it. They make wine out of it. He's like, what determines it being a weed or a flower? And you said something that was very key, perspective.
Before we wrap up, there's one question I wanted to throw to you related to all of this, to get just your thoughts around, from you, somebody who has been through everything that you've been through. There's a lot of conversations out there right now that are happening around justice, right? What's our current system for justice? A lot of people don't even like to call it the criminal justice system anymore. And there's a lot of conversations around how do we define justice? How could we redefine justice? What do we want it to actually look like if we're not satisfied with some of the systems that are in place for it right now? And so I just want to throw it to you as somebody who has gone through the criminal justice system and has survived and thrived after that experience. What comes up when you think of the word justice? And it could be like justice in your own individual life, and or justice, like, how do you define it generally, like, or how would you want it to be defined?
Justice, to me, is if you do wrong toward someone, whether it's racism, especially that, because we've seen a lot of that, especially with the George Floyd incident. You got to pay the price. You just have to pay the price. If you do wrong toward another human being, especially as far as taking someone's life, you just have to just be put away. You gotta be put away. Not saying that you shouldn't be given another opportunity. I believe that a person should be given another opportunity. I don't believe that a person should be put away for the rest of their life. Just like the 3 guys in the Arbery case. It just gave them, the father and the son, it just gave them natural life. It just gave the other man life with the possibility of parole. In my opinion, I believe it was excessive. I think they should have had another opportunity to try it again. Unfortunately, criminal justice system see it a different way. Man has created laws.
You had a pretty excessive sentence yourself. Do you think that there was a point where you had kind of, taken the time that you needed to think about things, and I know you got your GD, you became a scholar in your own way with like philosophy and books that you're reading. Do you think that was excessive, or
No.
no?
No. You know
Your
what?
time was sufficient for the crime that you did.
I believe my time was sufficient because I was given another chance. That's what I'm saying. I believe you should be given another chance. I'm gonna put my judgment on the case, the Rittenhour case, Rittenhour in Wisconsin,
Yeah, kind
with
of
the
like,
shootings. I told a lot of people, I even took a bet, you're gonna get found not guilty. And he should be. Although he took somebody's life, it was self-defense. He was attacked. Not saying he should have been there with a weapon. Not saying that. Shouldn't have been there. Mother shouldn't have drove him there to begin with. Shouldn't have drove him there. But
just
they attacked him.
you're saying like from a legal standpoint, in our current system, what he did was technically legal,
Yeah. He had to defend himself.
which is troubling, right?
A lot of people disagree. A lot of people disagree with me, and that's fine. That's fine. But the thing I don't want to get into I'm not going to get into no argument. If a person disagree, you entitled to that. You're entitled to that.
I just wanted to ask because a lot of people are having these conversations who haven't had experience with the system, right? And I think it's important that, I'm curious to hear what people who have had experience have to say about it. And so I just wanted to pose that too and get your thoughts on that. So, yeah, thank you.
You're welcome.
Coming from my point of view in closing, I know that life can be hard, and I know that you went through all of the things you went through. And in my life, the book Face to Face, I experienced a lot of hate and anger in my life, where I wasn't the one that did the killing, but the life was taken from me. And I was able to get over my first brother being killed. But my second brother, when he was murdered, and I'm saying murdered because he was injected by his wife and brother with insulin until he passed away. That was the second time that it happened. But I had a lot of anger and resentment still to this day towards that. And I'm still working on my steps for forgiveness through that. But just to listen in your scenario, in your case, of how you face all of these different walls and you're able to open up a door and go into the next level and just sit in there and deal with that and open up another door and go from your mom killing to your mom dying to foster care with strangers to Minneapolis to committing a crime to prison, and then you was in this big room, and I'm saying room as in years, for 20 something years, and then you open that door and you come out to life and so you steady going through more doors, even having your first kid and walking into that door. And in that room, each room that we face, including myself with the rooms that I'm facing, there's a lot of decisions you have to make. And one thing that I'm getting from your story is perception is everything, and how you look at it. You can choose to learn from it, or you can choose to sit in there and continue doing the same stupid stuff over and over and over and making them same mistakes, like the guy that gets out for 4 years, come back in for a year, and get out for, and if you don't learn, I think that is the biggest mistake that you can make in life. If you don't actually learn from your mistakes, and they become repetitive. And as I'm sitting here going through this, I'm like, my first brother died, and I looked at this killer face to face, and I forgave him. And I'm like, but my second brother, when he was killed, I'm looking at this person out walking, and I'm like, there should be justice. So what is my version of justice? And I'm like, I think that something should happen to them. And there's still part of me, and being a Christian and all of these things, and there's still some part of me that says that something should still happen to them. Something, and you're man enough, and you said if you do the crime, you should do the time, because of the laws that's there. But there's a process of growth that has to happen inside of everybody through the doors or through the trials and tribulations that you go through. And I think that's important. So as I'm still going through my doors or my trials and tribulations, like a lot of our viewers or listeners are doing also, we all are facing our different battles. Whether from the perspective of your mom, who is an alcoholic in an abusive relationship, she has to make a decision. Or your sister, who is looking at her little brothers and sisters in the household in this scenario, has to make a decision. Or my brother, who choosing to be with his wife, who he know is deceptive, and turns around and injects him. You know, he had to make a decision to because the family warned him to leave, but he didn't. Mm-hmm. Just like my first brother that was killed, we warned him to leave before he was shot in the back with a 12-gauge shotgun in front of his wife and kids, but he didn't. All of these decisions that we have to make weigh on us. There's a cost. There is a cost associated with whatever decision you make. And with that, the ones that survive have an opportunity to look back and say, hey, I could see where God was working in this and was with me the whole time. Or I can see where I was dumb and I was young and I made a lot of mistakes. But one thing that should happen is the older that we become, the less mistakes that we should make. And because you're old, don't make you a man. And I'm learning that as I'm growing. Because I'm older, it doesn't necessarily define me as a man. To me, a man is somebody that learns from his mistakes and make wiser decisions from his mistakes. But as I said here over the series that me and you have been talking, and me and Cleary has been here, I've learned a lot from you. And I do appreciate the knowledge and the wisdom that you poured inside of me and the listeners and the viewers. And I'm sure that they would, if they were here, they would, be applauding like we were, in awe like we were, just to say thank you, just for pouring back into us. Because literally, I'm telling you, on this end, I'm thinking that justice, something needs to happen to them. But now listening to you, the thing that used to be in my mind, that they should die, or, or whatever, isn't there. Because I can see the big room that you walked in for the 20-something years. I don't want to be in something like that. I don't want to have my back up against the wall, or I wouldn't wish that on my brothers or cousins, nephews, and nieces to want to retaliate for my brothers being murdered. Well, one of my brothers being murdered, or both of them. Because we all have been in that room where we're like, at that point, I want to kill somebody. Or I want revenge. I want them to feel exactly what I felt. And in listening to what you're saying and you're going through, we all have hurt and pain. Whether you are the one that lost somebody or you're the one that pulled the trigger. We all need help. We all need to rely on each other. It's almost like it's a big cycle that just keeps going around and around and around. That somebody has to intervene and break the cycle to take on the weight of the pain. So, Cleary, I'm going to give you a chance to have closing remarks or any questions that you may have for Zoe before we go ahead and end this session. I think that my heart is full.
Mine too, Terrence. Yeah, and thank you. I don't think I have any other questions. I just appreciate everything that you've said and opened up about. And I think that final note, right? It's about compassion for yourself, to take the pause, to think about, the love that you have for yourself so that you don't end up with consequences. But it's also the compassion that we have for other people's stories, the full complexity of people's stories, and how we can kind of have more compassion for the world. So I just love that end note. And I just thank you. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
And in the process of closing, I would like to say, Zoe, I really do appreciate you for all that you represent. You are the little kid that's at home with his mother being beat. And you are the guy that's in the toxic environment that your mom and your stepdad are alcoholics and you're not feeling the love that you should be, because there's a little kid or an adult inside of every one of us who were a part of you in your life and what you're going through. We are the person that's been in the back who have thoughts in our brain that we want to kill somebody. We want to hurt somebody. We want to do something beyond what we should do. We're the person that's been sentenced to 22 years. Whether you are the one that went to jail or your loved one is in jail, there's a separation that happens. There's hurt, there's pain there. You are the one that gets out and you make a difference. You know, it's hard for you, but it's also hard for us. You know, there is a mother out there who's missing her son, who's in search of her son. There's a father in search of their son. There's somebody, the moment that you went to jail, your brothers and all of them were missing you. You know, and when you came back, now you became a flower. You went from being a weed, because you didn't know no better. You just had knowledge and you're just trying to survive like a lot of us out here in this world. We're just trying to survive. And you took that time to produce and to change yourself, to rehabilitate yourself, to see life for what it really is and to give back at life. And not only me, the little boy inside of me, because I literally inspired to be a killer. That little boy inside of me thanks you for coming out and being as vulnerable as you are, Zoe, for passing me every day, you know, on my walk to work, and you just giving me seeds of encouragement. Just being here, not even knowing the full depth of your story, not even understanding the transformation that took place. But you are a phenomenal person, and from the depths of my heart, I thank you. And I know that my mentees thank you for the time that you spent with us, just talking to us. And with Cleary here today, we just kind of like, our minds are blown. But face to face with Terrence Weaver, definitely appreciates everything that you're giving. And I look forward to working with you, Zoe, in the future with other collaborations and changing the way that we, Chicago, the little boy, the mother, the father, the hurt people, the ones that are lost, the ones that are in prison that's gonna get out, and the ones that are looking for a way out.
Right.
Thank you for the answers that you've given us, all. God bless you.
You're very welcome. May God bless you. Both of you.
Thank you.
Thank you.